Anand sir.
Hello sir, good morning all. I'm just checking, I'm just checking the participants details. Kindly mute all the, kindly mute all the participants so that I'll just check and let me know the count initially. So whereas we can begin with that initially. I just want you to, mute everyone. So I'm just getting a lot of messages. Good morning, one and all. Good morning, it's been a pleasure, nice meeting you all. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. From Abdul Hakim College. Good morning, Mr. Parosh Reddy, and good morning to all. And it's been a pleasure. Good morning all. Sir, I just want to know the count. Good morning, Mr. Savita. Good morning, Rajesh.
92 right now.
92, okay, fine. Good morning, Mr. Mani. I think PhD scholars from Alagappa University has joined. It's been a pleasure, Mr. Mani. Good morning, Ms. Padmini Priyadashni. Good morning, one and all. I hope you're doing good and safe, in your hometown. I just want to know the count. Once it, I just
93, 93.
Start,
93.
Okay, fine. So you just only enable my voice so that I can have access whenever I find time to mute and unmute. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Mr. Mujifar Kani, Assistant Professor of Chemistry. I welcome you all. Mr. Venkatachari Rao. Good morning, one and all. I hope I'm getting a lot of responses from you guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm just getting calls and WhatsApp text messages. I know that you people are in a hurry to get things started. Welcome all. Mr. Ganesh, welcome.
97.
Okay, fine. Let me know about once it, it's 100.
99.
Okay, fine. Okay. Morning, one and all. I just want you guys to drop a text message here to know your profile and who are all, in this particular Zoom conference as well. I just want you guys to drop a text message. Hi, Simi sir. Good morning, sir. Welcome. I think I'm seeing your face here. I think he's putting some mask. I think so. He's in his office. I think he can hear me right now. It's been a pleasure, sir. Good morning. I'm really thankful for the Annai College principal, ma'am. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. I'm just getting a lot of assistant professors. So we have a mixture of audiences here, right? We have
Anand,
assistant professors, scholars.
sorry for
We
the
have
disturbance. Anand sir,
yeah.
100 reach 100 participants now. Let me start
Okay,
the.
we are close. Okay, we are going to start, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I just want you to make the pop-up display in your screen for everybody's understanding. I want you to
Oh,
close this session for the rest. Like once we start with 100 and we go
okay.
with 100, and for the next batch we'll go accordingly.
Just wait. I share.
Okay, fine. Good morning from Savita Engineering College. Good morning. Happy to be a part. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome the personality development program today. Annai College of Arts and Science Training Placements and organizes a webinar series on personality development program. Welcome you all. All the participants are registered to make mute on your audio and video now. We have you registered to ask your doubts and questions through chat box only. Those who are trying to interrupt the session repeatedly, they will be eliminated from the meeting. The eliminated participants will not possible to rejoin the meeting. Kindly cooperate and make this webinar a success. Thank you. Anand sir.
Yeah. Good morning, one and all.
Good morning.
I just want Mr. Preetham to start his session straight away because since we are running out of time, we are about to start before 40 or half an hour before.
Anand
So
sir, I need a few words about the given by our principal.
Okay, fine. Your principal ma'am is about to talk. Fine. Thank you.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure for us.
Yeah. Ma'am. Good morning.
Shall I proceed, Tirumala?
Proceed, ma'am.
Good morning, Tirumala. Okay, a warm good morning to one and all. So it's my immense pleasure to welcome you all for this gathering of webinar session, which is organized by our Annai College of Arts and Science located at kovilacheri, Kumbakonam, jointly with the hands of VisionX training system. So which is organized by our training and placement sir, by Dr. Tirumula, who is the placement coordinator. So I've taken a much effort for organizing this program with VisionX training. And my special regards to Mr. Parthiban, the system administrator, for putting their effort for past 1 week for arranging this session. And my special regards to the coordinator of the VisionX training, Mr. Pradeep Bharendra, founder of VisionX training, and Mr. Vijayanand, HR, Human Resource Management, and Mr. Srinivasan, CEO and Soft Media, and Mr. Anand Raj, founder of Study Channel, and he is also received award for the young entrepreneurship, and Mr. Shim, founder and director, founder and director of She Handles of Media, and only because of them we can able to organize this 3-day session from 8th to 10th of this May month. So I hope that we are having about 2 sessions per day. So more than about 1,000 participants has been given their that is a voluntary participations in this webinar session. So we are arranging on the 2-day per session. So dear participants, you have been putting your effort for participating in this webinar session. So I hope that this session will enrich your career. Once again, I welcome you all for this webinar. You want to utilize this session. They're fruitful for 3 days. Thank you one and all. May now hand over the session to Dr. Tirumulan, the placement coordinator, and to the VisionX Training Center to prolong the session. Thank you, all.
Thank you so much.
Tirumulan?
Thank you, ma'am.
And to the VisionX Training. Okay, fine. Can you able to proceed further on?
Thank you, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anand sir, we'll proceed. Anand sir. Oh,
Hello.
yeah.
It's my pleasure, from my end to introduce Mr. Preetham Bandra. I hope you hear my voice as well. Now, since we are running out of time, I just want Mr. Preetham to. Yeah, I'm audible, Mr. Preetham. Good morning, one and all, my friends, chief guests, professors, lecturers, and PhD scholars. And it's really an honor for me, to introduce Mr. Preetham. Preetham, I just want you, to start the session straight away. Since I'm getting a lot of calls and requests from the second batch. I just want to go for a second batch set and arrange some other, the session. No, I'm just giving over to you, and you can start the session straight away. So I myself unmute and just go for the next one. Thank you and have a nice day. God bless all. Stay safe.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Anand. A very good morning to each and everyone. It's a pleasure of me having here. And first of all, so thank you so much to the principal of Annai College of Arts and College Science, Dr. S.P. Manika Vansugi, and also the placement officer, Dr. D. Tirumulan, and to each and everyone who actually coordinated to make this event successful. I was informed by Dr. Tirumulan that this registration for the personal development training has got more than 1,000 participants that wanted to enroll and wanted to go ahead to see this session. That's an immense pleasure for me to have here and to interact with each and every one of you. So let me tell you this one thing. This whole session is going to be on personality development. Okay, I want to make it an interactive one. So you have the Zoom group chat. So I will just request you, each and everyone, okay, to be participating in the chat group so that I can see the questions, and according to that, I can pause and then I can reply. Okay, it's going to be an hour-long session, and hopefully we'll be having some really good engagements, right? If you all can hear me, please say hi over the chat so that I can understand that I'm loud and clear. Okay. Okay, great. So amazing to see that. Okay. Okay, great. It's clear. Amazing. So let's start the session. Okay. The session is broadly categorized into two parts where I will be focusing on how do you build your communicative skills. That's the first thing. The second thing I will be focusing on, that is, I think, the most important part at this point of time the whole world is facing, that is crisis management. These two themes are going to be the base of this whole personal development session, because any personal development session has got a lot of parameters to be worked on. But however, seeing the time constraint, I have focused on these two major and the two most important parts at this point of time, right? So I'll be sharing the screen. Okay, I'll be taking you directly to my slide presentations and we'll have the discussion then. Okay. Okay, so, okay, is everybody able to see? Please confirm in the chat, is it visible? Okay, okay, I can see that everybody is saying it's visible. That's great. Okay, just a minute, let me arrange this so that I can work accordingly. Okay, just a Mr. Tirumulan, is it possible for only to have my screen, my video here, rather than having everyone?
Yeah.
Or yeah, just try to make my video here, and so that I can have my video and the chat as well. I can see everyone.
Hi. Pritam?
Yeah, I think it won't happen. I think
It's okay.
yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. Okay, just a minute. So I'm Preetham Bhadra. Okay, I'm a millennium leadership speaker. I talk about leadership in this generation, this current generation, especially for those who are in the age bracket of 18 to 30, 35. Okay, so at this point of time, I am not only speaking, and I'm also doing multiple corporate sessions, not only in colleges but on corporates, mainly based on these sessions on personal development, leaderships, and how do you communicate better to be a better leader. So I'm also the founder of Vision X Training System that was started in 2019 with an idea to help and transform their own core skills. See, what there are two things when you go to a job or whatever you do in a professional life. One is when you have your core skills, that is your personality. The other, you have the other skill that you acquire from the outside, that is your technical skills. Once you bind both the things together, that's the time when you make the most of your career and most of whatever you are doing. So I thought, why not to focus on the core skills, because I think that's when I think every interview or every classification, when you're going to an upgraded session or you're going throughout the ladder of your career, you will face this, and this is something that is interviewed and reviewed every single time. So welcome everyone for this personality development program by me. Okay, so you can visit my website, that's www.preethambhai.com, when the session ends, to know more about me in detail. Okay, so I've also been conducting these kind of sessions in my college as well. So when I was in the college days, I used to conduct sessions like this, and that's when I transformed and I thought to have this idea of Vision X Training Systems, which started in 2019. So not taking much time about introducing myself, I'm going to proceed ahead for the first slide, I'll say. Just a minute. Yeah. So the first topic, as I said, there are two bases of this whole personal development session. The first thing is communicate effectively. Now, how important do you think communication can be? I mean, what is the role of communicating when you go higher up the ladder in any organization? There are people who join at the mid level, there are people who join at the upper level as well, but then they need to communicate. Not only, let's say, I've seen that in the chat section that there are professors, there are research scholars, there are students. So really glad to see that more than 1,000 have people wanted to register. So I'll make my discussion accordingly. I'll make in a way so that it can be suitable for each and everyone, whether you are a top professor or you are a college student. So let's start with an example. Let's say you are a college student and you go to conduct a session, or you are in a session and you are participating. Whenever you go for an interview, when you go in front of a company and you present yourself, how important do you think this communication can be? Right. For me, what I have seen interacting with so many CEOs, because let me tell you, I've been consulting professionals across 150 countries in their career path. So that's what I did from the last 6-7 months. And with discussing with all of them, I realized communication skills in various stages of how you grow in your career is going to be important. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do or discuss about communicating effectively is taking an example of a college student. You go to a college, okay, let's say you're participating, and as I saw that this event was also coordinated by some of the head of college students. So how they communicate over to their friends and their colleagues, this becomes the key of getting things done. If you have learned about what you do after this, there are several topics like project management, okay, where you understand to manage people. It's mainly based on how do you communicate properly. If you are not able to communicate properly, your message will not be delivered. Now, the problem here is whenever I discuss, like I take this kind of session, people say, how should I increase my fluency? Do you really think that fluency is the top-notch skill which is required to communicate effectively? For me, that's no. Because fluency in English, or taking and expressing your words out of your mind to the person in front of you, is just 50% of the work done. Because when you communicate, okay, it's a two-way transition. As a person who's communicating and as a person who's listening. So when both these things work together in synchrony, at that point of time, communication happens. And that's when your personality improves, because it's a key skill, right? So coming to the next slide, that is, how do you become a better listener? So as I said, I will be focusing on the next part here, that how you will be a better listener and why you should be a better listener. Why it is so important to be a better listener. I mean, everybody around you, okay, I mean, you all are hearing me. You can't talk because you're muted, but you can always chat. But you understand one thing, that whatever I'm saying here as one person is being communicated to hundreds and probably thousands when this video will be shared across your YouTube channels and across your links. So when I communicate with you, you need to listen properly. Listen in the sense that you understand it. There's nothing more satisfying than having a good listener around you. A very good example, I would say, that you are really depressed and you really want to get your heart or whatever you have, the feeling inside you, get out. Okay, you come to me as a friend. Okay, let's say you say that I'll go to Mr. Preetham and I will discuss with him, because that's when I feel that it's going to be better for me. I'm going to feel better. But what was there in my heart or there in my mind, I'll speak to him. I'll feel lighter. I'll feel delighted. Right? You come to me to discuss about so many things about you, and guess what? What I do? I directly go and I say, you know what? I was conducting this session and I was doing so many things here and this and that. That person will be astonished and the person will think, I came to Mr. Preetham to say my problems, to say what I had in my mind, rather than listening to what he is doing. That's when a proper communication never works. When this kind of situation, when proper communication doesn't work, there is a lack of personality. There's a defect, I would say, which can always be improved. Let me tell you this one thing. Whether it's communicating, whether it's crisis management or leadership, these are all learnable skills that you will be learning, and then you need to upgrade yourself. So that's the best part about it. I was not like the way I am now. Few years ago, almost in the starting of my college's time, I was really poor in the way I communicate, because I always used to want people to listen to me. But the problem is, when everybody wants that, unfortunately, in this really hustle bustle world, if you are a professor, if, like, let's say like Mr. Jimul, and you are a placement coordinator, so you coordinate so many people. So if you keep buzzing around, then at this point of time, it's not going to be fruitful to listen, because the information will not be conveyed properly and you won't be understand. We live in an information age. Everything is just a click away. You go to Google and you type anything, you get the answer. But do you really think that's going to transform your life? I don't think so. Why? Because communication and the information is different compared to realization. It's only when you understand and realize it, things transform. And that's when your personality will. So what I'm saying is, in this part of time, but how you should be a better listener. Coming to the first key point of becoming a better listener is why to focus on proper listening. As I give the example, let's say you come to me and you come to me with a broken heart. You come to me with a problem. You come to me with you want to take a suggestion from me. You come to me with an idea. This is what you want to do. And if I'm not listening it properly, you won't feel satisfied that Preetham is not listening to me. What's the point of communicating? At that point of time, my personality graph reduces. That's the first key point. If you, and I would request each one of you, if you have a pen, right, and a notepad, kindly write it down. The first point that I'm going to discuss here is that why to focus on proper listening. This is the thing. When you communicate to anyone, okay, you should be a best listener. The biggest, I would say, communicators across the world, the biggest speakers and trainers across the world are not the one who only speak. You know what I'm going to do once this session is over? I'm going to listen to each and every one, to each and every comment, to all the feedbacks of each and every person that was there. I will also share the medium through which you can communicate to me directly, so that I want to listen. But why I should listen? Because it's only when I listen properly, I'll understand. And when I understand, I will be upgrading myself. The next session that you will see is going to be customized according to your need, and it's going to be better and better and better, because I will be getting hundreds and thousands of suggestions. Why? Because I'm listening. If I'm doing everything just because I think that I am a professional speaker, that's not going to serve the purpose. The purpose is not just to speak. The purpose is to make the communication and the message clear. Right? I hope it's clear. If it's clear, then I would also ask everyone to write in the chat section if the message is clear. Kindly do that. Okay. Okay. So coming to the next point that I have with myself, that is how it can help become a better communicator. As I said, there are two parts of listening. One, you speak. Other one, you listen. It's only when you speak and you listen simultaneously, that's when the whole information gets transformed. Okay, I'll give you a very good example. So once we are into a corporate world, when we are running any kind of business or we are into a development stage, at that point of time, there are different hierarchies, right? There are people who are at the lowest level, there are people who are in the mid-level, senior level managers, CXOs, CEOs of different organizations. Now, they need to understand that when one CEO of an organization communicates something to the whole hierarchy, the whole structure of thousands of people, hello, hello, just a minute, Mr. Thirumalan.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it the chat clear to everyone?
It's clear. Some
Okay, so
not that problem.
okay, great then. So, okay, I can see here people writing with the screen. Can you please rectify that? Okay, great. So I'll use the laser pointer. Okay, so it's going to be better. So how you can impact it on others' mind? Because when you are going through this hustle bustle of life, people are so busy in communicating what they want to speak, and nobody's want to listen. At that point of time, you feel lonely. There are times when you have heard people saying that I really don't want to talk about this. I really don't want to listen about this. The reason is not because they are not able to understand things properly. It's because they don't know how to communicate, and because of this, they're even rejected from different kinds of global interviews. That's the key point here of becoming a better listener. So remember one thing, that there are two ways of communicating. It also transforms your leadership capabilities. Every single leader that is there, okay, understand that it's not only one that the leader speaks, it's also the followers whom he listens, and then he transforms the way he's communicating. That way, the listener and the leader both are going to get to the next level. This is what I mean to say over when you say that becoming a better listener. So this is the point that I wanted to clear here, that if you are not doing this when you are communicating, okay, and if you want to develop your personality, it's going to be a real problem. If you are a teacher and if you are a professor in any college, as it's all, there are so many colleges that lined up the professors coming up here and in this session. I'm really glad. But at this point of time, you also understand that what your students are saying. Are you able to convey your message properly to students? And if they're understanding or not, what is the feedback of the students? Because the whole world, if I say, the whole world of economy runs on the customer satisfaction. That's why if you see the biggest organization are the better listener. I would say the best listener, in fact. Every complaint that you do to an Amazon gets fixed, or to Zomato that you do is fixed. You know why? Because they're listening. They're listening very clearly of what you have to say, how you have to say, and what are the things that they need to improve. That way, if you are a professor, you need to do this. When you are get to an organization, let's say when you graduate from your college, you go to an organization, you work as a coder, as a management person, in any form. At that point of time, you need to understand that what people are communicating around you, you listen to that, you adapt. If you don't listen to what's happening across you, okay, because you're really new to the system, at that point of time, it's going to be really difficult for you to survive in the system, because there's so many people who have more experience than you around you are buzzing off. At that point of time, if you are not communicating and listening properly, you won't be able to grow the structure because you are a new person there. So this was the key. I would say this is the gist of this first slide of becoming a better listener. If it is clear, if you are noted, please type yes over the chat section. I would like to see that. Hello, Mr. Thirumulan. Is everyone is chatting? Everybody can see?
Tell me, sir.
Yeah. So is everyone on the chat? Everybody is saying yes?
Yeah.
Is it clear? Okay.
Clear.
Great.
Clear.
Okay, because I'm not able to see the chat. That's why. I'm not
Some
sure
of
why.
them audio is not clear. They said
Okay, audio is not clear. Okay,
very
I'll
clear.
do it like this.
Their
Yeah.
bandwidth is very low. That's the problem.
Okay, great. So the second thing, okay, is it possible to remove this? I would say, just a minute. This line is disturbing. I think there's someone who's having the access, who has drawn a line. Is it okay to clear this, Mr. Ribulan? See, I'll show you. Yeah, so we need to clear this line so that we can proceed forward. This lines, please. Hello, is there any problem?
Ah,
Or should I restart? Can you just do one thing? Kindly mute everyone and their access so that they are not able to draw anything, and I can work independently.
Rhythm, is it audible?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, great. So I'm sharing the screen again, and we will go to the next slide. Okay. Okay. So just one request: kindly please don't draw any lines. Okay. So that it's better that we can communicate like this, because that's when I think the session is going to be without any interruption, right? So thank you so much for the cooperation. Okay, so we are already done with the first slides, that is the becoming a better listener. I hope you will understand that. Please note it down that to be okay. The first point that you will get from this slide is that if you want to become better in communicating, is not just what you speak, it's what you listen, right? That's the second, and I would say the most important factor. Every single organization that is you have seen, every single organization that whether it's Google, Facebook, any organization, and even the organization that I was working previously, that are doing amazing business across the whole world and are into the top management sectors, I would say one thing: they listen to each and every employee, they listen to each and every customer. So if you are a person who wants to manage a team, who wants to manage a class, manage an organization, if you want to run your own business, and wherever you want to go, you want to be a good employee anywhere, become a better listener. That's the first criteria. Anyone, right? Anyone who is ready to communicate with you, ready want to speak something. The problem here is we want to speak our heart out before then the person has said anything, and that's the biggest problem, isn't it? That happens with each and every one. Before I want to say something, there will be a person who wants to interrupt me and discuss. And I think that is nothing wrong. We humans have that urge, that I've urge to discuss with each and everyone, the urge to communicate, or we want our voices to be heard. That's not a problem. But the problem is when each and everyone's voice is not heard on a proper time at that point of time, that becomes a problem, because you are not able to understand who is saying what. And because of that, you're not able to take the action steps, which I feel is the most important and the end result of communicating. So if you're not doing this, your personality won't be enhanced, because you will be only a person who only speaks but never listens. Right? As the first point, keep in mind, I'm sure it's going to help you. The second slide I'm going to go is dealing with difficult people. Now, as we are in a corona situation across the globe, I understand that we are isolated. But what happened to before corona? Before the time, when we used to be surrounded with so many people around, did you find anyone who was difficult to understand? Okay, did you find anyone who was I would say, very annoying kind of person who used to get really angry, really disappointed fast, and that really affected the way you work? Is that ever happened? If that's the case, then how to deal with these kind of people? Because and you would say, then why, Pritam, it is important to deal with difficult person? Why it is so important? The reason why it is so important to deal with difficult people is, if you are not dealing with them at that point of time, it's going to hamper your own growth. That's the last point. If you can see, focus on your own growth. I'll share you one my story. Okay, I think it's really going to reflect. Okay, it was a time when I was in my second year of college, and I entered into my, I would say, class. When I entered into my class, there were almost 100 students. Obviously, that's a normal case when you enter. So I'm a BTech graduate, by the way. So I was the topper when I used to be in the college. So as being a topper, what happens? If you are a person who has topped anything, okay, you always get the attention. And you always get the attention being in positive way and in negative way, both. The two ways you get attention, right? One in positive way, one in negative way. Okay. So when you get the attention in the positive way, that's really good. You feel good that Priyam Bhadra is the topper of this college, of this particular branch, of this particular year, and you feel good about it. What about the negative one? People are not going to be really happy with you all the time. They're going to be jealous of you. They're going to be disappointed of the way you're performing, and that's really going to create an impact on how you grow. Because if that's what happened, and if it hits your heart, it's going to hamper your productivity, and then your growth will be slowed down. And maybe next time you won't be able to perform the way you used to, right? So how to deal with these kind of people? That's I would say the main theme of this slide. Okay, so have some chats coming up. I like to see that what is the chat is all about. Okay, 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 okay. So let's go back to the session. So dealing with the difficult person. So how do you avoid miscommunication? If you're really into something and you really want to work on yourself and want to focus on something, then how do you avoid miscommunication from people? There are people who are going to interrupt you all the time. There are people who can disturb you and who are going to say all the wrong things about the aim that you have, and how to interact with them. One very key thing that I learned from one of my professors when I was in my college days is, Pritam, that's very normal, anyone who's at the leadership position or has done anything that is commendable, that is worth knowing, at that point of time, there will be 100 people across you who's going to throw stones at you. Okay, they may not literally throw stones at you, but verbally or inverbally, they will communicate to you that this is something that you're doing and we are not really happy about it. Then I asked myself that what should I do, sir? I mean, I really want to focus, because when I was in the college, I was focusing on a lot of things. I was topping in my examination. I was preparing for the armed forces. For 2 times, I've been to top 28 or top 29 in the Indian Army, Indian Navy. But unfortunately, I couldn't go into the flying wing because of my eyesight that you can see. That happened, unfortunately, at the end of the final year. But whatever it was, I asked this. I want to do so many things, and I'm really being productive. But how do I manage these kind of people? You know what he said? Take a glass, okay, take a glass, fill it to the brim, okay, fill it to the brim. When you cannot spill any water, I mean that's when, if you just shatter it slowly, the water is going to fall. Now do one thing, take that glass, okay, and revolve around the whole college campus. I said, okay, that's a bit weird, but what's really going to happen? He said, just do one thing. So though I didn't try it in the college campus, I tried in my own small area, okay, in the hostel where I was staying. You know one thing, there are people who's already buzzing around here and there. You can't do anything about them because you don't have any control over them. But what you can do is focus on the glass and the brim of water that you have. Because if you don't focus on that, the water will spill and you will lose the thing that you have with yourself. And that's how you do it. You focus. You need to be a laser focus in what you do to avoid these kind of people. There is no other way. If there is a person who is always shouting at you, who's always misbehaving with you and is your neighbor, you can't really do anything about it. Can you? You can't really just take your home and shift where to any other part of the country. Just can't do that instantaneously, right? So what do? You focus on your own home. You focus on your own work, and that's what I did. And I think that's the reason why 5 consecutive times I taught in my college without the naysayers, and I started working on other skills as well. And that's when I was developing my communication and my personality skills. right? So I hope that you have understood about this, that how can you avoid this kind of miscommunication and difficult people. Focus on your work. That's first thing. Second thing, what's the difference between a reaction and response? Okay, just let me, yeah, response I think is not that clear. Yeah, I think now it's clear, right? Response. Difference between reaction, okay, and response. Now, what do I mean by reaction and response? Uh, somebody, let's say you're doing something that is worth commendable, okay, it's hard, okay, but then somebody comes to you and say very bad things to you or difficult things to you for you to digest. Now, there are two scenarios that you can do. If you're a hot-headed person, what you're going to do is you're going to react. You're going to react directly to that person, and that is not going to make your mood into into difficult, and you're not going to focus on your work. But also, it's going to fuel that person and that person's mentality. Okay, and he's going to shout on you or going to say more difficult words to you. Right? That's one way of dealing. Second way of dealing these kind of people is to respond. How to respond? Okay, I understand. See, there was a problem, there was a situation that was happening now here over the screen, wherein somebody, maybe I think mistakenly, was drawing something, and I think it was just a mistake seeing on the screen. That's what I believe in. But if that's what have happened, I responded. You need to respond the same. You don't need to react. It's fine. It happens. So many people around in this session. I know they have joined hundreds of people, a registration of thousands of people. There are billions of people across this world, right? When you want to get your work out or when your words or your message out, billions of people are going to watch that. Then what will I do? Will I react just because billions of people are watching? I have more than 15 to 20 videos over my social media, over my YouTube. There are people who are reacting, there are people who are messaging, who are applauding, and it is available to billions of people. Do I need to react or need to respond? So what we need to do, if I really want to keep my decorum, if I really want to keep my personality intact, I'll respond. I won't react. I mean, do you really appreciate a person who keeps shouting and who keep getting jealous or keep arguing? Do you really appreciate that person? You hardly do. Why? Why you don't appreciate that person? Because of that negative vibe that coming from that person. But what do you do to a person who's really calm, patient, understand the situation, and then works on his or on her own path? You appreciate that person. You want to be associated with that person. And that's when it's called response. So remember this. When you face these kind of difficult people around you, okay, after this corona or in a call, whatever the situation is, or even a presentation like this, don't react. Reaction will make it worse. If you respond, things will get clear the way it got clear now. That's the second thing. Third thing is the focus on your own growth. You remember what I said, that when I said to my college professor, the principal, that I really want to focus on my work and it's going to really hampering. He said to focus on your own growth. Why? Because if you're doing the both above things wrong, if you're miscommunicating is the first thing, or if you're reacting, you won't have that time, the energy, or that focus to work on your own growth. Why? Because you're disturbed. Have you ever seen a disturbed person focusing on his or her work? Is it possible? No, right? If you are a professor in a college and if you're really dedicated to your work, and there's a person who's another student who's constantly disturbing you and you're getting disturbed, do you really think that way you can actually work and give the best presentation? Is it possible for you, sir and ma'am? I don't think so, right? That's when you have to understand that what you need to do is focus on your own growth. Eliminate the people around you and focus on your own growth. How? You focus on what are my priorities. Okay, how to understand your priorities. Are my priorities of what people are thinking or what people are saying around me, of how that negative they are, or my priority is my own work, because I know if not today, tomorrow I will be benefited out of it, and the same people are really going to applaud me. Which one? You will be focusing on your own growth, right? You want people to applaud you. You want people to recognize you. You want your own work to be recognized by your own self. Once you do a thing, you want people to appreciate that. If not people, forget about people. You want your own self to feel good about it. If I'm giving a long presentation like this, I want people, to have a look on this and improve themselves. And when they give me a feedback over my social media channels, I feel good about it. But you know what makes me feel the most valuable when I'm doing this presentation is that when this presentation successfully ends, I feel good about myself because I am focusing on my own growth. And I think that's the key. focusing on your own goals, right? I hope that you're writing all the points down, that dealing with a difficult person, focusing on your own self. Remember to respond rather react, and respond with a positive smile. Because when you respond with a negative smile or with a broken heart, at that point of time, you're doing just one thing, you're fueling the other person. Please don't do that. That's not going to benefit for anyone. And let me tell you, it implies for the college student to the CEOs of the organization, because I've been consulting more than 150 countries and more than 600 professionals across the globe. And these people are from different levels. There are people who have just entered into the corporate world. There are people who are mid-level managers with more than 5 years experience. And there are people with more than 15 years experience. There are people also the CEOs of different organizations who want the organization to improve, and they take consultation from me based on the organization that I used to work in. Right. So when I did this, I realized they focus on their own work more than what's happening across them. There are thousands of ways, my friend, to get distracted, but there's only one way to focus. That is what you're doing. That's what's your aim, right? I hope that this whole slide session or the second session was actually delivered to you. If you're able to listen properly, if that's the case, if you have noted down, please type on the comment section yes, so that everybody can see and we can proceed forward. Please type. I will be able to see that as well. Okay. So once we are done with dealing a difficult person, we are going to go for the second slide. Sorry, third slide. Now, the third slide is learn to say no. I'm not sure should I say it fortunately or unfortunately. Growing in the Indian system or Indian parenting or Indian education system, we always have this mentality that we need to say yes to everyone that's coming ahead. I really don't think that is the case. Do you really think? Now, let's have 1 minute of pause wherein we will discuss ourselves. Everything that you have, came across in your life or in your normal day-to-day, work schedule, do always say yes to things. Your friends comes and says, hey, let's go, we'll play cricket outside, or we'll go to the movie. We won't go to the college today. We'll go to the movie and we'll enjoy the time, right? When you go tired to your work, you're a professor, and then you really want to focus on your work, on your own self-development. At that point of time, you get some other work by your seniority of your college or in your corporate, and then you say, okay, so I will do that also. You say yes to every single thing that comes in your way. You need to understand this. That's the first thing, my friend. Understand this one thing, that whether you are saying yes or no. Please self-introspect now for 1 minute and understand whether you say yes to every single thing, or you take time for yourself and you prioritize yourself and say no to them, because you understand this is your time and this is your valuable time when you're improving. So are you saying a yes or a no? Right? A very thought-provoking question, by the way, because Indian society is designed in a way where we say yes to every single thing, and that actually impacts a lot. It impacts a lot in a negative way to people and their life. Right? Just 1 minute, so that you can think on it, and you can see about it. Okay, just think on it. Okay then. Sure. Okay, great. So saying yes to every single time. Let's proceed with the slide. Saying yes to every single time. That's what we do. I mean, that's what I used to do. I'm not sure about you all. It was never taught by my parents or not even my professors. This comes naturally. People say that whatever comes in your way, take it, right? Take everything that comes in your way. And I feel that's not true, because there are thousands of things that can come in your way. Do you really want to take each and everything? Will you ever have time for everything? And how do you prioritize? The people who are working hard, okay, and getting paid 1,000 rupees per hour, that's really good. And there are people who are really working hard and getting paid 10,000 to 1 lakh rupees per hour. Which one will you choose? Will you say everything yes to every single thing that comes in your way? Obviously not. So how do you do it? You're going to prioritize your work. For example, when you're at home at this point of time, you're in a corona situation and you have time for yourself, what you do is you prioritize yourself and then you work on your own work. At that point of time, if anything external comes in, you say no to it. Why? Because you prioritize this. Let me tell you one thing. If you're not prioritizing, let's say you prioritize, okay, you have a list. Okay, it's the first thing I'm going to do, second thing I'm going to do, third thing I'm going to do. Any external thing that comes in the first thing, okay, and you get disturbed and you accept that external thing because of our natural habit of saying yes to everything, okay, your self-esteem is going to go down. You know why? You prioritized everything for yourself, first thing, second thing, third thing, but you really didn't bother about that. You bothered about the external thing that came in your way and you say yes to it. Your self-esteem or your subconscious mind going to say, then what you're worth actually? That something came in your way, you wanted to improve yourself, you worked on it, but you really didn't bother to execute that. Instead, with just having this yes notion, you always said yes to everything. What about the other things? You never focused on that, did you? No. And if you didn't do that, somewhere in the mind, if you feel that I am not that value, why? Because I don't prioritize myself. The moment you don't prioritize yourself, your self-esteem is going to go low. Your personality is going to take a dip. And when that happens, you will not going to, grow in yourself. Because personality, is a mixture of so many things around. If you're saying yes to every single thing, my friend, how your personality is going to develop? Think about it. I don't think it's going to ever develop, because you're always welcoming each and every person and each and every work that comes in your way, rather than prioritizing of what you actually want to work, right? That's the first thing. Don't say yes to every single thing. How do you do that? And the second point is how it will help you to perform better. If you say if you don't say yes to everything, and it's okay if you say no to there's something that comes in your way. How? Because once you prioritize, you always need to have a list of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and how you're going to execute that. If you are not having a list of that, the external things are going to come in and are going to disturb you. And ladies and gentlemen, when that happens, you're not going to perform in an efficient way, and your efficiency decreases. You feel bad about it. If you want to do something that is going to be executed within an hour, and if it takes 2 to 3 hours for you, will you be happy? There's a question. No, right? Because you thought that you're going to execute that within 1 hour, but you're doing it in 3 hours. What's the point? You won't feel good about it. You had that one focus, but then you got distracted. So, but when to say no, right? Coming to the third point, when do you say no to yourself? Think about it. What is your priority? Let's say this exam, because I heard that there's online exams are going to be conducted. I'm not sure about each and every college and university. So if at this point of time, my friend, if college exams and managing those college exams, if you're a professor or coordinator, is important for you, if that's what is your priority, and there's something else external that happens and comes to you, will you say a yes to that or a no to that? What will you do? I know there are some people who will say, I'll go and watch a movie, but that's when your personality dips down, my friend. You really need to work on what is there in the priority, because when you already go and watch a movie, after that you come for the examination and you see that you have flunked the examination. There's no point of that, and you will feel bad about yourself. Why? It's because you watched a movie a couple of times. It really affected your priorities, and when it affected your priorities, you take a dip and you feel that I'm not worth it, because I am not the kind of a person who structures my own thing and executes that. I'm a kind of a person who structures my own thing and then executes something else. How your personality is going to improve then? It won't. You're not a man of words and decision. You need to be a man of words and decision, because you need to make something and then execute that only. If anything external happens, again, you understand if that's going to be in a priority list or not. If there's a medical emergency, fine, that's in a priority list. You work on that. If that is something that is normal, if your friends are asking you to go for a cricket match, if your friends are asking you to let's go and we'll roam around here and there, that's not going to be in the priority list. And if at all it is in the priority list, you will say that once I'm completed with all these priorities, at the end I'll do that. That's how you select and say yes and no. Something very urgent, you maintain that in your top priority list, execute that. That's when the second thing happens. Is the external thing coming up in between, trying to enter between your priorities, you analyze whether it's important or not. If that's not, say no. A simple no. You go home, you work on yourself, you're studying really hard, and there's examination coming up, and there's a person or a friend who is saying that let's group study, or we'll do something else, and that's not going to be helpful for you. Say a no, because this no today is going to help you clear the exam tomorrow. You should make yourself feel proud. You have no idea. I mean, when I was in the college, I was in the first year. I was in a verge, I would say, where I used to, I was almost, in the sense where I almost I used to fail the exam in my first year of BTech, right? That's when I thought that this is what I am, because my priorities are not set. New to the college, first year, just because of that, I thought I'll do whatever I want. And that's when my priority was not listed and I was about to fail. I got things cleared, I got mentorship. From the second, third year, and fourth year, I maintained my priority and I excelled in whatever I did. Yes, because of this, you may have to say a no to a lot many people. Let me warn you something. Your friends, your colleagues, and your family members may feel bad about it, that you're not taking their priority and working on and including them in your list. They may feel bad about it, but I feel that's okay, because once you are successful, my friend, they are same for people who are going to make you feel good. They're going to say that, okay, this is the reason why you worked hard. Because in the college days, I really I was not very socializing, not because I really didn't want to socialize. It's because I was really dedicated to few of the tasks that I really wanted to do. And now they call me back, they message me back of saying how my content is helping them. Why do you think it happened anyway? It happened because I prioritized my 3 years of my 4 years of BTech. And after that, when I used to work in corporates, that's how I prioritized. A yes and a no did all this difference. And that's the reason why today I'm speaking to you, right? So this is the thing. I hope that this all slide is also clear. Please note it down. It's very important. I'm giving you 1 minute. And with that, if you want to share something, if you want to say that everything is clear, please type in yes over the chat so that we can understand and we can proceed forward, right? Thank you. 1 minute for you. Yeah, please write it down. This one thing I just wanted to discuss here, that when I thought that of conducting this personal development training, I was not aware, or I would say I was not expecting that I will get more than 900 or 1000 registration. That's really amazing. Thank you so much again for each and every one of you. I hope that you're making the most of this time of this conversation, right? Okay, so quickly we'll go to the next thing, that is crisis management. I think this is the most important factor, okay, the most important part, wherein you will be able to understand that how will you going to manage the crisis. The crisis is for everyone, okay? It's for all those thousands registration, every single person that did in this webinar. There's people that across the India, okay, of 130 million people and 7.5 billion people across the world. Every single person across the world, whether you are a student, whether you're a parent, you're a professor, you're a professional, you're a managing director of a company, or you're the CEO of an organization, is facing this problem. They're trying to deal with it in different ways according to their strata, and that's fine. But how you're doing it, that's the key. Seeing the number of variations that I have in my audience, I would like to discuss the key or the fundamental things which is really going to help you to evaluate and how can you improve your crisis management skills. Okay, coming to the next slide. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize that, I would say. Okay, so business across the world is infected globally. Okay, globally. I'll just give you a glimpse. Just taking the screen here, this side. So first of all, it infected China. Okay, it disrupted China. Do you know a worth how many $1 billion deals China has with India, and what a loss China faced? It was estimated that more than $100 billion of loss the Chinese economy is going to face dealing with only India because of the situation that presumed because of the coronavirus. After that, it got spread to the Europe, US, Africa, and now in India. Situations are very critical, and the world economic crisis is there. International Monetary Fund, the IMF, okay, IMF is actually said that we already entered the economic crisis. If we have entered the economic crisis at this point of time, it's very usual. There are people, in the schools and colleges where their students were not getting the education properly. There are people like the professors, okay, coordinators who are not getting salary, okay, from the colleges and corporates on time. There are professionals who are not getting the incentives, their hikes, okay, in their companies from time to time, and their CEOs, the founders of the organization, are facing very difficult time in order to manage the whole thing. And because of this, it's going to really taking a toll on how they're going to pay everyone. At this point of time, it not only hits you financially, also hits you mentally. And because of this, you are prone to make wrong decisions. And that's the exact time when your downfall starts. And definitely when your downfall starts, when you're not mentally that active to make decisions because of the financial crisis going on across the world, which is very justifiable because you have financial commitment to your family, to your family members, to your own self. It happens. But how do you lead out of it? The core skill, I would say, how do you develop your personality in the sense that is going to help you, right? So second thing, the first slide I would say of the second portion, okay, is what is resilience? Okay, are you aware of the meaning of resilience? What is in fact resilience? And I mean, why you need to implement that first of all? Ah, okay, if anyone knows about resilience, they can type on the chat section so I can understand if anyone is aware of it. Just a common English word, know about it. Okay, okay.
Pritham, your audio is muted. Yeah, you have to unmute.
Okay, am I clear now? Okay, everybody on the chat section, am I clear now? Okay. So I was needing the permission. Okay, great. So by the time I was in mute, I actually got so many answers, by the way. So I made the most of this time. How do you bounce back? Yeah. So how do you come out of the difficult situation? Great. So I got these kind of answers, and dominantly I would say they are the right answers. Okay. So let's go to the slideshow. Okay, so what is resilience? First of all, yes, you got that right. How do you bounce back? Bouncing back from your difficult times, from your difficult scenarios. I mean, one of my close friend, okay, got laid off from an organization. Okay, it was a big organization, and she was actually really working really good. Okay, so it means a very clear situation that it was a difficult time for her. So when a difficult time for her this happens, understand one thing, that this is not only for you that is happening, my friend. It's happening across the world. Billions of people. If you are not aware, then I was reading a news that every one company out of 3 companies in India, okay, have taken steps to reduce the salary or to actually stop it. That's the financial condition, and it's very bad that there are so many organizations which are laying off people. If you see in the United States, it's more than 12%. 12% of the population is being laid off from their jobs. It's facing a huge crisis. When something like this happens, you go to the deep down to the bottom where you feel bad about it. And it's genuine because you have your own financial commitments. And when that happens, how do you improve as a person? How do you get back? As somebody rightly said, bounce back, sir. Correct. You need to bounce back, but how do you do that, and how it is important? See, there are people who are in trauma, there are people who are in difficult situation, okay, and it takes a lot of time to bounce back. It's not that easy coming out of the mental situation where you are in a, where you don't have your salary, where you're in a critical situation. You had plans for yourself this whole year, and see the things happening around. It seems that your plans are nowhere to be executed in the near future. If that's the case, my friend, and what do you do out of it? How do you bounce back? I understand you to bounce back to get to a next level, which is going to help you, but how to do that, right? We're going to discuss about that. So taking the example of my friend, she got laid off from the company. She was doing really well. She was a hardworking a lady. She was really working well in the organization. She was meeting the targets, making the project stand on time. Everything was working the way it should have worked for a perfect employee to work. But the problem is when you face financial crisis situation, there's nothing the organization can do really about it. They have to let you go because they can't feed their own organization how they can feed you, right? In that situation, how do you even know that what you can do about it rather than clipping and telling your sob stories? First of all, I have seen this one thing. If you want to develop your personality to the next level, my friend, don't tell your sob stories to each and every one. And if you even have to tell it to one person or the other, don't keep telling it. Just because, let's say I lost my job, I won't be telling it to each and every one again and again. I lost my job and how the world is bad to me and what crisis I am in. Because I have to understand it's for every single person on earth. And most importantly, no, it didn't show, it's not showing how matured I am. Because there is no way that there's something uncommon. It's very common. It happens. If the organization is not having their own funds, how are they going to pay you? If that's not going to happen, how are you going to pay your own self? If that's not, if this is something very common and it's understandable. But there are people who go down deep into the sorrow. They're never able to, bounce back. As somebody said, they need to come out and have the positivity. But how they will have the positivity? It's only when you have a strong personality. Every strong personality, we all follow every strong personality, right? Every politician you see, every social media influencer you see those people who have done amazing work, starting from Mahatma Gandhi to Nelson Mandela, Martin King, who's from the US. So many people across the world have done so much amazing things. And don't you think they have ever faced these kind of problems or setbacks? Yes. But how could they keep facing it again and again and then bounce back? How they did that? I'll take a very clear example of that friend so that you can understand that. So once she was laid off, once she was not working and it was a very difficult time for her, she did one thing. She made sure that her financial investment in anything was reduced down to the minimum level. She invested in her own learning, in her own development. She invested in her personal development. She invested in her technical development so that next time she can go for a job, she's going for a job, for an interview, for any big organization. At that point of time, you will be asked for this question for sure, that what you did in this period of time. In this period of lockdown, you are not having the salary, you're not having the job, justifiable. I understand that. The CEO, the recruiter of the organization will understand that, because I am sure that's what happened in the organization as well. It's a global phenomenon. That is acceptable, that you're not having a job, but what you did at that point of time to improve yourself, that will show your personality. They will think and they will consider your technical skills much later. First, they will see what you did, what kind of a person you are. Can you manage the crisis really? And if you can manage the crisis really, they will consider you taking off, because they want leaders in the organization so that they can work. And that's how you need to work, right? That is the reason why it is important to build resilience. Coming to the next slide, it is how to build resilience. Okay, I'll just slide it here. So importance of building resilience in this era. Obviously, it is very important to build resilience because of the crisis that is happening now. You need to build it, or else you're going to face the crisis. Everybody is facing the crisis. Be a leader out of it rather than be a victim. The two way you can do that, right? The next point that you see, how you can shorten the time gap between a setback, okay, to get back. A person said bounce back, very good. So get back, okay, so set back to get back to where you want to be. And that's when you play the role of a leader, not a victim. So who's a victim? A victim is the one who keeps, cribbing about the problem that he had. A victim is the one who keeps getting disheartened of the problems that he is facing in his life again and again, and share this to everyone, just so that to the world to know that how problematic situation that person, he or she, is in. That's you have set back. Stop cribbing and get back. How do you do? By investing yourself. Few minutes ago, I discussed and I shared the lesson of my friend, right? That's what you need to do. You need to develop your personality, work on yourself in this point of crisis. And it's not easy. It's not easy for her at all. It's not easy for anyone. Not going out for months together outside and working at home all the time. It's very difficult, but that's what you need to do. And it's not for everybody. It's an experience of a lifetime that helps you lead in the coming future. Leadership is a skill, a learnable skill that takes time. I'll show you one very important thing about leadership. Okay, it's going to be there in the coming few slides. Okay, the problem of one way to setback is when you have a setback, you don't see a clear aim. I mean, what you really want to do, you're not clear about it, and you face problem about it, for sure, right? Because you lost it. You feel that I lost my job, I don't have my financial backing with myself, and I don't have my friends supporting me, because you keep cribbing, so why your friends should support you? So because of all these things happen, you feel that you are nowhere to go. You can't go anywhere, and you feel that you're lost. You are deep down at the bottom of a well. That's a very pathetic situation to be in. How to get out of it? Only way is so you take the path of a leader. Stop playing the role of a victim. Play the role of a leader. Make plans for yourself the way my friend did, by investing and executing those plans of personal development and technical development. Make plan for yourself. What you are going to do now that's going to create a difference when the lockdown is over and you get a better job with a better salary, with a better package, with a better working environment, the better set of people who are going to match your mindset. What are you going to do? You need to plan. Once you plan, remember what I said, almost 20 minutes ago about making priorities. Once you make the plan, prioritize them, execute them. Don't let anyone come in between. You're already in a difficult situation, my friend. How do you think that you're going to get out of it if you keep going here and there? It's not going to work it out, right? So the only way to from setback to get back is to plan, execute, and be a leader. Set your own path. Okay, if you're not aware, I'm not sure if you are in a professional environment of a professional social media environment of LinkedIn. So if you see LinkedIn, because I've been interacting with a lot of CEOs and managing directors over LinkedIn currently, seeing those situations and their criteria, they were saying this one thing, Preetham. Everybody is facing crisis. My company is facing crisis. Your clients are facing crisis. Not everybody is not ready to invest money, in different kind of training systems and all, and different kind of work schedules and all, because of which I am not able to pay my freelancers. They are not able to pay their employees. This happens. But at that point of time, when this thing ends, what do you think is going to be easy? It's not going to be easy for sure, because every single organization, every single company is going to make everything. They're going to do their bit to take that financial off. If for a very good example, I would say, let's say there's a company, okay, in this March, April, and May, okay. Let's say it ends on May. Let's take it's ending on May. In this quarter, March, April, and May, okay, in this period of time, they faced a loss of 1 crore rupees, and because of which they had to lay off their 100 people, 100 employees. Very normal, happens across the world. If that happens, once this is over, let's say from June, organizations are working on a full space. Okay, what do you think the objective is going to be for the team management and the leadership? Think about it. What they're going to do once this reopens? Are they going to go in a normal way? No. They're going to make sure that those crores of rupees that they had in loss, they now take it back from the system so that they can maintain their growth. Every single organization, does not matter whether it's a government or it is a profit or non-profit, is going to do that. and then pressure is going to be high, and they are going to look for leaders, not for victims. So that's when you get from setback to get back by making all these things. Okay, so that's what you do. Now, your ability to change and adapt, and I think this is when the core fundamental skill of being a leader. Okay, how do you change and adapt? The way we are changing and adapting, I'm really glad to see these kind of colleges who are really keen on having trainers, okay, across various parts of the country, and then training them live. I mean, I could have come to your college and physically present that, but if that's not happening in your college, the college management and the authority took a decision to make it live. And see, we're having more than 900,000 registration as per Mr. Thirumalan. That's so amazing. People are willing to learn, but the thing is, can you change and adapt? I'm really going to congrats to the management of Annai College, because they changed their policy, they changed the way they work, and they adapted. And that's the reason why this whole conference, whole session is going to be, and it's going happening, and it's going to be successful, because so far now it's going to be amazing, right? And that's what they did, and that's what you need to do in your own self as well. If you are facing a problem, I am recording this whole session from my flat and from my my closed environment. I'm not able to go outside, but I adapted myself. I made sure that this scenario or this work environment suits me. I adapted to this, and I'm doing this. Normally I am used to speak in front of hundreds of people, but that's not going to happen anymore, Preetham, because of the corona situation. It's very justifiable, but the problem is how you're going to adapt and change. Yes, I mean, the work of a trainer is to make the person understand, make the other people understand and realize. The work of a main work of a speaker is to make them connect. If I can do it through online, why not I should change and adapt my policies of visual training systems? Why can't I give online trainings to across the world? Why can't I do that? I can do that, right? Why not I make sure that I make content across the social media so the people who are online from various parts across the world can get benefit out of it? So what I did, I understand the change, I accepted it rather than complaining about it, and then I adapted to it. And that's how you need to do. So first point coming, how do you analyze your environment? You can analyze your environment now, right? You can't go outside. There's an economic problem. There's a lockdown situation. There is virus that is killing people, almost 100 people a day. At this point of time, you have seen that how grave the situation is. But will you stop here just because of the change that happened? And this is a severe change, by the way. So will you stop here just because of this change happened, or you're going to adapt to it? The way different organizations I see and collaborate with are adapting, that's how you need to adapt your working style. If you're a college student and you're not able to go to the college and work environment, and you're not able to study there, you should study from your home with whatever you have. You have a smartphone, you're getting online classes, make the most of it, write notes, understand, realize, connect to the professors, connect to me over social media, and we can work it out. That's how we do it. That's the new normal, my friend, right? So based on that, how can you adapt? Based on that, you have to analyze. Remember, prioritizing, again, it comes to every single slide. You need to prioritize. What is important? Is it important for you to go out or roam in this difficult situation? Or is it important for you to stay home, plan, execute, and adapt? Which is important? Obviously, what the later one, right? And that's how you do it. You analyze it, you adapt to it. Okay. So Annai College is from arts and science, right? So I hope that you have heard or learned about the Darwin's theory. If you've learned about the Darwin's theory states that the survival of the fittest. And who is the fit? People like you, people like me, people like these kind of colleges and this kind of management are fit because they can change and adapt. Everything that was online, this whole speaking and training thing, by the way, was offline. Hardly anyone used to come online and get trained. But you know what's happening now? Everything is online. A platform like this is a Zoom conference that we are having, Zoom, Skype, okay, and different kind of platforms like Cisco, WebEx are on a, I would say, 90-degree turn towards in the stock market. You know why? They changed and adapted. They are the ones who are the decision makers across the world. They make the decision and they transform themselves. And that's when I think the future belongs to. If they're the person who can have $1 billion of sale within a few months just because of the corona situation, so what they actually did, right? They were the same company who was present, right, a few months ago also. They're not making this kind of profit. Why they're making profit now? Because they could change themselves. They're making the most out of it. Despite of this problematic situation, people are doing so much to adapt themselves. Can't you do that? I'm sure you can do that, right? You can adapt. Survival of the fittest. If you are not into this, okay, okay. Again, I'm very sorry to interrupt. Can we again clear this, please? So if you have time, kindly go back and see the Darwin's theory. Okay, see the Darwin's theory so that we can work accordingly. Okay, the Darwin's theory is very important for you to understand. It's not a biological phenomena, I would say something, but it's something that is going to improve you. Okay, you would understand how you implement that. It's not what I study when I'm in the college or when I'm in the school, but how I implement. Every single organization and every single person like you and me and this college management and the different collaboration, they have adapted, and that's why they made this successful, isn't it? That's why we're having this constructively, because we adapted. That's the Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. So how do you make the most of the changes? The way we are doing it now. How do you make the most of these changes? By grabbing each and every opportunity, prioritizing them, and then implement them. I hope that this slide is clear to you. We are going to the end of the session. We're going to have one more slides where I will be discussing about the leadership. Is it clear to each and everyone? Have everyone is able to note down every single point? Okay, okay, I can see the chat here. Okay, great, great. Everyone is noting it down. Okay, great, amazing. So now we're going to the final end of our whole session of personality development. Okay, from my side, wherein I think this is the most important slide I'm going to be for the whole session, for the whole 1 hour of session. I think it's more than 1 hour now. Okay, but this is going to be the most important one. Okay. Okay, have your pen and paper ready. Okay, if you have written down everything, that's amazing. Now you're going to write down again. Now I'm going to talk about how you're going to implement all these things in a victim and a leadership way. Okay, sorry, not a victim way. Victim are the one who cry and grieve. I'm sure you and me are not the one who falls in the place of a victim. Rather, we are the ones who falls on the category or on the circle of a leader, right? We are into the leadership domain. Okay, then. So I hope you're able to see this slide of leadership capabilities. If that's a yes, please write down yes on the chat section so that I can see. Okay, okay. Leadership capabilities. Now, personality development throughout the session, everything I did started from this. I'll tell you one story of mine. It's a story of not accomplishing something, but it's also a story wherein I was transformed totally. I'm very young, by the way, okay? But somebody was asking, what's your experience, Preetham? Okay, if I would say professionally, it's very less. If you say non-professionally, in the same field, it's more than 6 years now that I am working on it and executing it every single day on leadership capabilities. Why? So as we are only discussing now, I wanted to add one slide. I forgot to add one slide. Those slides are the pictures of me being into the top 20 officer selection board. One was in the Indian Army, okay, and one was in the Indian Navy. One was in the Coimbatore, and one was in Allahabad SSB. So, and I was trained throughout my college years of 4 years from ex-Army and Navy professors, sorry, officers. Okay. They trained me in an amazing way. We hardly used to have this kind of Zoom conferences or all. Okay, no, you know how they used to train me. At 5 a.m. early in the morning, we used to get up. Okay, even in the month of December, we used to go for a running. Okay, so I am from Bhubaneswar, wherein I did my BTech there. Okay, so I am basically, my home is in Kolkata, that's in West Bengal. But I studied my BTech in Silicon Institute of Technology, Bhubaneswar. Okay, and at that point of time, there is a very beautiful environment, the area that I was in. So you can go away and jog, you can work on your fitness and all. So he used to train me on leadership. I was the person who used to go and work out, okay, with those officers early in the morning, because for youngsters it's very difficult for them to get up early in the morning and work on themselves. It's really hard for them. So I used to do the one. Okay, I used to get up early in the morning in the whole or that cold, shivering environment. But you know what happened across those 4 years when I was working? You need to be a leader that sets examples for others to follow. What do I mean by that? Example for others to follow means when you do something, do it so well and do it so much and so precisely, okay, so refinedly, I would say, with so much of precision that people get astonished, right? Remember those naysayers? Remember those session in the starting when I said the difficult people, right? They're the people who are going to observe you, and one day they are going to follow you, and then it's your responsibility to be a leader to transform them into future leaders. That's what I did. At the end of the fourth year, I was having my whole group, I would say, till the final year of my college, wherein I was having more than 10 participants. They used to come to me every single day. Think about it. Running alone in the morning, shivering cold in the first year, to running with a team, managing the team of 10 people, motivating them to get early in the morning and go and work out in that cold as a team. It took me 4 years. It's not easy. I mean we are discussing with professors and college students. We all know it's not easy for college students to get up early, and because you are so much into social media and xyz, and so much of distraction is there. How do you train someone for, and you make them believe in yourself, that you make them get up and do it voluntarily? Because at the end of the fourth year, they themselves used to say, Pritam, tomorrow you're going in the morning, right? And I said, yeah, of course. That's how you transform yourself into a leader. So leadership capabilities are the core of personality development. If you are not a leader, if you choose to play a role of a victim, your personality will not be improved for sure. Why? Because there's no point of improving. Where are you going to improve? A victim never improves. A victim keeps cribbing. They have a problem for every solution. That's the thing. Understand that? They have a problem for every single solution. Leaders try to make their own path and execute that. And once it's done, they make others follow their path. If I'm not good at communicating, why you should be even listening to me? I have to improve myself first, and then I can talk to you. That's my credibility, my friend. And I think that's what you need to do. Okay. So what do you mean by leader? As discussed with all these things, my friend, what do you mean by a leader who makes his own path? I'm not giving you an example of extraordinary things. I'm giving an example that's going to help you to start from point A, okay, to go from point B. Okay, don't plan from point A to point Z. There's no point of it. You're going to give up. So many of the times I joined gym, okay, I used to take the dumbbells and all, I used to weight lift, and I used to do a lot of things. Okay, nobody ever taught me that that's not how you should do. You start by your basic exercise, and that's when you go for the heavy lifts, my friend. I jumped from A to Z and I failed. I left the gym within 2 months. I paid the whole year's fee and I left it within 2 months. I don't want that to happen with you. I'm asking you to go from point A, point B. I want to take from one step, that's all. So what do you mean by a leader? As I said, as my whole story of how I used to work out in my college helps you understand that it's from point A to point B that you need to take yourself. How you do it? Basic changes you need to do. Make a list, make a plan, okay? So how can you show actual leadership capabilities in your own sphere? People say that leadership is all about position. Just because I am the managing director or I'm the top level manager, I'm a leader. Not true. Not true at all. In corporates, I've been into, I would say, I've seen the glorious times of in my career of the corporate. I've seen the worst time as well. There are times when I used to work 15 hours a day, literally 15 hours a day for the corporate, and I was getting no benefit out of it. And I was, I was looked down upon, and I was, I would say, I was in a very difficult situation then. Nobody ever valued my work because they wanted me to work, and that's what they all want. They never appreciated me. But how do you then I realized this one thing, managers and top level leadership positions is not actual leadership. It's just a position. Okay, it's just a position. We all say, like we all say that politicians have a chair. They maintain their chair. They're at the chair of the position that they are in. It's just a position, my friend. The next time they are not elected, they lose their position. So do you think they lose their leadership skills? No. If they are leaders, they will be leaders without the position, without the chair. They will be leaders with the position and with the chair. And I think fortunately, with having the position and the chair, they are going to create bigger impact. Yeah, for sure. But can't you do an impact without the position? Of course you can do it, right? How you can do it? You need to take actions, my friend. The first thing you need to do, whether you are in college or whether, you would say, you are in the management sector where you're handling so many people, you take action, prioritize things. You need to be resilient. Whatever I discussed with you from last 1 hour, this is the gist of it. everything that we discuss, nothing but the key qualities of being a leader. And that's what you need to do, whether it's taking action, prioritizing, eliminating people, resilience, communication building, being a team player. If you see this whole collaboration with Annai College, okay, as I see that almost 93 participants now we have online, with 100 joined, 1,000 registered. How it happened? It's a teamwork, right? Learn from them, learn from your environment. Remember, adapt and change now. See how it's going to done. Open your eyes. Don't just open your eyes because you want to watch a movie. Open your eyes of what's happening across you. Then you will be able to see. Even this session is a perfect example of good leadership by Principal Ma'am, by by Dr. Thirumalan sir, okay, by Mr. Anand. Every single person, the college coordinator, the student coordinator, every single person is a form, but is a way of showing leadership. I'm here to give you practical examples that you can implement, not some theory that you can't implement, my friend. And that's how it is, right? So how great leaders are from, right? These are the basic steps that you need to do. See, from A to B, once you go from A to B, you will realize, oh wow, A to B is done. Then we can go from B to C. I will give you a very good examples from the real time now. I was discussing with the placement officer, Mr. Thirumalan, and the other coordinators, and they were saying that they had a chemistry session yesterday, right? If you can do a chemistry session online, if you can do it successfully, you can do a personal development session as well successfully, and you can do so many sessions now. We all had, our misconception or our doubts that whether this kind of session is going to be really, beneficial for me. I'm very sorry, just a minute. Yeah. So we had this misconception that whether this conversation is going to be successful or not. How do you do that? You don't aim to have $1 million business idea with having a millions of students in your platform. That's not going to work. That's like starting from A and going to Z or Z, I would say. Not like that. You go from A to B. A to B was that chemistry session that you had, and like this is from B to C. Next step, third step. That's how you do. And to do this, you need to have a vision. That's the reason why I named my training company Negotiation Training System. I had this broad vision in 2018 for the first 6 months, I would say, not even 6 months, it was almost 5 months. I traveled more than 10,000 kilometers across the country for those defense interviews to be an officer. And at that point of time, I met hundreds of students of your age and my age, because they all came for the interview. And they were aged from 21, 27, because I think that's the last age to come into that army category of being an officer. So these are the age bracket I had, and I had people from across the world. So don't have problem interacting, understanding, or adapting to any kind of person with any kind of culture, whether it's north, whether it's south, whether it's middle, west, whether it's different part of the I would say the world as well. That's the reason why I was handling 150 countries. I had no problem with interacting with a person from, let's say, Australia, Malaysia, from India, from Middle East, from UK. No problem for me. Why? I could adapt, I could change myself, and then I plan, I executed. These are the sessions, my friend. These are the basic things, right? Don't aim for something really amazing to happen, because it's not going to happen. It will be like my case when I joined a gym session. Okay, nobody guided me. Okay, without doing the basic push-ups and basic core muscles, I went ahead for lifting weights and I quit within 2 months. That's how you're going to do if you follow the same path. And after that, you will be cribbing and you're saying, the gym trainer was not good and all, and you're going to complain about others and say, don't join this gym, this is bad and all. No, it's not about the problem with the gym trainer or the society or the association. It's a problem with you. You tried going from A to Z without having a vision. You didn't know how to prioritize, or what I discussed earlier. You don't know how to structure it. You valued people across your more than what you valued your own vision. You never did all these things, and as a result, you never grew your personality. Once you never did all these things, how are you going to do that? And hence, you're not a leader. Of course, you're not. So all this session is, I think, is recorded by the organization. It will be short. It will be given to you again. Watch it again carefully and implement. Okay, this is how great leaders are from. One step at a time. When I was in my first year, I was almost on the stage of flunking the exam, right? And this is the time when I'm conducting the session of so many people. Till now, I have trained more than 3,000 students across India, every corner you can think of. Whether you think of, the northeast corner to Gujarat, to Jammu Kashmir, to Kerala, everywhere I've trained them. I've been mentored as a global learning consultant to more than 150 countries. How you do that? From a guy who was always in a verge to fail the exam to this kind of situation, that's one step at a time. And that's what I think you need to do, my friend, right? So thank you so much for this, sessions and all. Seeing everybody appreciating me. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the end of the session, I would say. I will take a couple of few minutes so that we can, understand how we will be able to communicate now. Okay, because this is a session organized by your college. I'm really thank you for each and every one. Okay, starting from principal ma'am, starting from the coordinator, starting from the placement officer, student coordinators, and every single person. So a few slides are still remaining. I'll just have to go through quick. Okay, so how to get in touch with me? Okay, so if you are on Facebook or on social media, kindly get in touch with me. Okay, you have my contact number as well. You can always ping me. Okay, you can message me over WhatsApp. Okay, you have my email ID. That's contact@preethambhadra.com. Okay, and this is my website. Please visit my website. I'm a professional speaker and a trainer, and I make sure that the way I impacted you, I want to impact others as well. And I think in a deep way. I think next time I come to your college, we will be having one-to-one interaction as well, so that we can understand the problem every single in detail. Okay, so okay, the comments are always amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody. Thank you, Ms. Anju. The comments are coming fast. Thank you, Avasti. Thank you, Ms. Chitra. Thank you, Janiba. Thank you, Mr. R. Lokesh. Okay, great. So visit my website, www.preethambhadra.com. Okay, that's the front part of the website. I'm a motivator. I love motivating people. I'm a leadership speaker. The way I taught you everything from part A to B, that's my niche. I love taking people from one step to the next step. That's all, and they are confident enough to take the journey ahead. So just one question I have: how many of you are on YouTube? If you are on YouTube, please type on YouTube that you have on the chat section. Are you on YouTube? Do you watch YouTube videos? If that's a yes, please type yes, or type YouTube, please. Okay, amazing. So if you loved the session of 1 hour, I'm sure you loved all my videos. Okay, if you see the screen, okay, these are all my videos. Okay, and if you see from episode 1 to episode 6, the top line and the bottom line, if you see, these are all on 6 productive things to do in lockdown. So indirectly, these are all on crisis management. Okay, so watch all these videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because it's already, we have yesterday I recorded it. It was 818 subscribers, and it's going to be 1,000 now. Okay, within a few days it's going to be 1,000. We are promoting it heavily, and we are making a lot of content for this. Join my YouTube sessions. Okay, I'm planning to have YouTube live sessions as well in the coming near future, so that you can interact with me freely and we can discuss one-to-one. Okay, subscribe to my YouTube channel and do one thing. As I got to know by Mr. Tirumalan sir, that this session was a limited session because there are more than 1,000 entries for these sessions. Okay, I'll also ask each one of you, including the college management, to share these videos to the session as well. Okay, what the WhatsApp groups you have, kindly share this to them, and personally as well, to your friends, to your family members, to your colleagues. Please share these kind of videos to them. It's going to be really benefiting for them. Okay, coming to the next slide. Okay, just a minute. Okay, are you guys on Facebook? If you are on Facebook, if you are using Facebook, you can let me know. Okay, so currently, just a minute. So currently, okay, we have the response rate over Facebook of more than 90%. Okay, every single chat that comes in to me and my team responds that within 2 hours. So rest assured that each and every response. Okay, let me tell you, these data are directly from Facebook. Okay, we are having no control over manipulating this. Directly, this data is coming from Facebook. Okay, so 90% response rate. That's a huge response rate. Okay, so every single person having any kind of queries are being solved then and there. Okay, it doesn't matter if I'm busy or what. Whenever I get time, I clear that. Okay, that's one thing. Currently, we have more than 1,500 followers over across the globe. Okay, with almost, if you see at the bottom, it's more than 3,300 likes. Okay, we are focusing on aiming more than 5,000 likes by the end of this month. Hopefully, with your participation, this will be done. Okay, if you're on Facebook, kindly follow this. If you see that there are almost 7 videos. Okay, 7 video views this week. So every single video I'm trying to put at least 1 video per 2 day. Okay, I'm trying to reshare my content so that Facebook can show it to you. If you are on Facebook, please like and follow so that we can get in touch. And if you want to know how to communicate, just come to this channel on Facebook, okay, and ping to me. There's a chat option wherein you can message me. Directly come and message me. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, there are people who are privately messaging me. Thank you so much, each and everyone. It's been really glad. Okay, this is the last slide, I would say. Okay, before I end this, yeah, it's the last slide. How many of you, I mean, we all are professionals here, or we are going to be the professional because we are in the college, we from the college, you're going to be in the corporate. How many of you, I want to know, are on LinkedIn? LinkedIn, please type LinkedIn if you are on LinkedIn. Okay. Yes, please, everybody, I want to know that how many of you of this crowd is on LinkedIn. Please, everyone. Okay. Private message also coming. Thank you so much, Ms. Abhisha. Yeah. Okay, great. So do one thing. See, this is something that I want you to understand. Crisis management is also the way you communicate. Okay. The more connections you have, okay, the more people will be able to know you. And if they trust you to enough, they're going to give you opportunities. The way I got opportunities, I'm really thankful to Mr. Anand, Mr. Sriramlu, and the whole college because they gave me this opportunity. Let me tell you one thing. This whole LinkedIn kind of a thing was started in the month of December when I was active. Okay, from the month of December 2019, and this till 8,000 we reached within 4 months. And if you see, the majority of the crowd are the CEOs and the managing directors, learning and development head, and the HRs across the world. We share thoughts. If you see, I'm highly active on my social media followings, mainly in LinkedIn. Okay, you see that's a tagline. You just have to go to the search button, type Preetham Bhadra. Okay, you will be having this screen, and the below you will be having these followers and everything will be there. Okay, as you can see, there's already mentioned officially more than 3,000 students and professionals. And this is the time I think you should not only connect to me, but everyone that is there, from the principal, from Mr. Anand, from everyone. You need to connect and to understand what are your future possibilities and how do you want to upgrade yourself. Hopefully that this session, okay, comes to an end now. Okay, get connected to me and follow me. And thank you so much for the session. Actually, it's almost the end of the session, and I really thank every single person who attended our session. And I really want this video to reach to all the 1,000 registration that was there on the personal development, because it was very core that I discussed about for the last 1.5 hours, and I going to think it's going to be the most value added thing for every student and professional to go from A to B, right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, so Mr. Thirumalan, sir, we have, I think the session is done. Okay, I'll just,
thank you.
I'll just stop,
Thank you,
stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Pritham. It's a very interesting and motivational, inspirational speech. So,
Thank you so much.
first, we thank our participants.
Yeah,
The
amazing response.
Has gone for 2 hours. It's fine. Very interesting. All the participants are feedback very nicely. Thank you, Pritham.
Thank you so much. So one thing I want to clarify, that each and everyone who wants to get connected to me on the social media handles that I discussed, kindly get in touch with me. I'll be glad to answer all your doubts and all your queries personally. Not a problem for me. It will be in my top priority list. Okay.
Thank you. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Participants, thank you, Ananda. உங்கள் எல்லாருக்குமே ஒரு வீடியோ ஷேர் ஆகும். அதே மாதிரி 24/7 நம்ம ஒரு ஆண்டாள் சாஃப்ட் மீடியா அண்ட் ஸ்டடி சேனல் எஜுகேஷனல் ட்ரஸ்ட் அண்ட் விஷன் எக்ஸ் ட்ரைனிங் சொல்லி, ஸோ இவங்க எல்லாருமே சேர்ந்து ப்ரோக்ராம் ரெடி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க, த கிரேட் ஏஷியன் ஆன்லைன் சமிட் 2020 அப்படின்னு. ஸோ இது த்ரூ அவுட் த இயர் வந்து பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. அதில் 24 hours யார் வேணாலும் ஜாயின் பண்ணலாம். மோர் தென் 20 countries சிஇஓஸ், எஜுகேஷனலிஸ்ட் எல்லாருமே அதில் ஜாயின் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ எல்லாருமே அது விருப்பம் உள்ளவங்க அந்த குரூப்பில் உங்களுடைய தாட்ஸை அதில் ஷேர் பண்ணலாம். அப்புறம் அதுக்கான ரிஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் ஃபார்ம் கூட அதில் ஷேர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அடுத்த அப்கமிங் ஈவெண்ட்ஸுக்கான எல்லாமே உங்களுக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப் குரூப்பில் ஷேர் ஆகும். தேங்க்யூ அண்ணா. தேங்க்யூ ஆனந்த் சார்.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's been a pleasure and nice talking to you all, guys. And I really thank Mr. Preetham. It was, a wonderful session from him. I used to go for his recorded session, and I used to, go through again because it's most valuable thing. I hope so. And I just want to have a quick note. Since we have a lot of rush from the participants from various group, since this group is on 247, I have shared you a brochure content of an event, that is called as the Great Asian Online Summit 2020. And the link is on the description. Like, I'll leave it on the description. So it is, we'll be having that particular quick session, like today afternoon 3 p.m. To 4 p.m. I'll be sharing the link on your WhatsApp. So the discussion is open. So everybody can come in and connect. I see a lot of doctors, scholars, professors, assistants, associates, and a lot of college students from various departments. I see a lot of various colleges. So since I hope that you guys have seen that particular brochure, so that will be a valuable thing for you guys as well. I just want I'll be opening the WhatsApp chat content, like after the session, after lunch session. I'll be opening that. I just want your feedbacks and suggestions to grow more, and it's been a real honor for us. And I'll all share the details in WhatsApp. And I just want you guys to understand the rush and the traffic here. So we are planning to do the sessions like for 100 and 100 by batch. So I hope everybody understands the technical kind of issues and all those steps. So it's been a pleasure again, and I'll be sharing you the link of the feedback sessions on various streamlines, which will be starting by today afternoon 3 p.m. and it will be of a 1 hour session. It's about a discussion of our brochure and the next international event which we are hosting. So I just want you all guys to be active in a WhatsApp group, and I just want your feedbacks to be done on WhatsApp, and we'll keep in touch. And I really thank Madam Principal, and I really thank Mr. Preetham and Mr. Thirumalan. He's such a guy, he's taking a lot of work from his head, and he's doing a lot of things. And I think he haven't slept for the past 48 hours, I think so, because I'm just having some discussions regarding some bigger ventures. He's doing a lot of initial efforts. As well as I really thank Sri Ramulu, and I really thank Srinivasan sir for this wonderful occasion. And we'll be joining soon through WhatsApp. I'll be having the session today afternoon. I hope you guys want to be a part of that at 3 p.m. It's like first come first serve. So if you are into the earlier session of 3 p.m. and you'll be throughout the session. Okay, please stay calm and stay safe. Stay home. Thank you and have a nice day. God bless all. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand sir.
Thank you, sir.